Oh, hello, it is I, your boy Gomi, and we are back with another UFC pay-per-view. Now, I don't sound as excited as I normally do with these pay-per-views because, oh god, what is this? So, I'm gonna go into it. Why do I have the Spanish poster? At least, is this Spanish? This probably isn't Spanish. Oh well, regardless, it's better than what I'm looking at. I'm gonna go straight into it first and foremost to say this is one of the weaker Madison Square Garden card. In fact, if not the weakest Madison Square Garden card we've ever had. For those of you who don't know, UFC has basically 3 major events each year that they've kind of been in a pattern for. Basically, it's International Fight Week in June, Abu Dhabi in October, Madison Square Garden in November, and they're almost always bangers. They usually are. This year, well, let's look at last year. Yuri Prohaska, Alex Pereira, Sergey Pavlovich, Tom Aspinall. By the way, it's supposed to have Jones on it, and then they made it better by adding the co-main event. But it also had Andrade, Dern, Favola, Saint Denis, Diego Lopez. Pat Sabatini's not a nothing bugger, but still, like, that's a good card. Like, it's good. Then you have 281, which is, in my opinion, one of the greatest cards of all time. Tied the record for most amount of finishes on a card at 11, by the way. But you had Adesanya Pereira, Esparza Weili, Dustin Chandler, Edgar Gutierrez. Oh god, why did we allow that? Hooker Puelles, like, that's a good card. Riddell Moicano, Reyes Span, Blanchfield McCann. That's a good card. 268, Usman Covington, Namajunas Weili. Actually had the Whitman trio because Gaethje Chandler opened the card. Burgos Pilly Q was great. Oh god, why did we let Frankie Edgar die again? What did we do to Frankie Edgar? Why did we allow that? Oh yeah, it's supposed to have Strickland Rockhold. Oh god, I wish we saw that fight. And then look, Alex Pereira as well too. Hawes Curtis. That's like, and then we have this card, which I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. This is an egregious card. It's ridiculous that we, have this. Jones versus Miocic. Like, Jones should never even fought Miocic at all, honestly. Like, this was a compelling matchup years ago. Not anymore. It should be Tom Aspinall in there. It should be Tom Aspinall. Like, I don't even know if I care about Tom Aspinall versus Jones anymore. I care more about Tom Aspinall versus Ngannou or Pereira, to be honest with you. But I'm getting way ahead of myself. Let's actually look at the card. It's, spoiler, not that good. Not that good a card. But let's break it down. First fight in the card is going to be Veronica Hardy going up against Eduardo Moura. Hardy is really Hardy is really well-rounded ever since she met the other Hardy, Dan Hardy. She's gotten a lot better because Dan Hardy is one of the best minds in the sport, and he's helping her improve quite a bit. She's got that really dedicated work ethic, but she is the quintessential women's MMA fighter. Like, solid striking, but no power, and then passable grappling. She's very well-rounded, that's it. Good striking, good BJJ. Moira is powerful, but her decision-making has always struck me as lackluster, to be perfectly honest with you. She got destroyed by Diniz Gomes, which makes sense. I know it's a split decision, but I still think she definitely lost that. And then beyond that, like, she fights, she goes for broke, and she does a decent job of it, but I think Hardy's a step up in competition that will beat her. I know everyone and their mother is picking Veronica Hardy. Don't do that. Do not put money on this fight. This is a very even matchup. I see now, looking at the odds, Veronica Hardy is a slight favorite, -155 over Moura at +130. That's leaning in towards parlay piece territory. Don't do that. I think this is a lot closer of a matchup. I only lean slightly towards Veronica Hardy, and I could see Veronica Hardy killing a bunch of parlays. But I'll go see just Moura's losing, to be perfectly honest. I could also see that coming too. Basel Hafez versus Oban Elliott. Basel Hafez, we overrated him highly after his really good performance again. No, after his performance against JDM, because that was just a bad performance by JDM due to a double weight cut. And then he went into the next fight against Mickey Gall, who's actually fighting above him. Yeah, why is Mickey Gall higher up than Hafez, who just beat him? That doesn't make sense. But Hafez did not look good against Mickey Gall. And spoiler alert for the Mickey Gall breakdown, I think Mickey Gall's ass. Basil just barely got by him. He's durable. He's got good grappling, and he loves to swing hooks, and he has some power into him, but he swings too wild. But then Elliott, I think, is also not that good. I know, good win streak, or a good amount of wins, good win streak, but he just doesn't look that good, to be perfectly honest with you. Against Preston Parsons, I didn't think he looked good. Against Val Woodburn, I didn't think he looked good. And then against Brito, I didn't think he looked good. Like, I know he's not finishing these guys, and I know I have, like, it seems like I might have a bias towards finishers, but he's just not looking good against these guys he's beating. I'm going to slightly lean towards Basil Hafez. I'm pretty sure he's probably the underdog by a good bit because Elliott, is winning. And he's winning more clearly than Basil, but I could just see him getting chinned, to be perfectly honest with you. Yeah, that's really it. Basil Hafez is going to be plus 180. I knew it was plus before I even said it. And then Elliott is minus 218. I can see some value in the Hafez end. I think Hafez will get done by decision. Mickey Gall versus Ramiz Brahimaj. What did I just say? What did I just say about Mickey Gall? I think Mickey Gall is booty. He's ass. He was so overrated. He has a very aggressive striking style, but that's it. He's about to literally be 1-for-1 for wins and losses. That's insane that we have him on a Madison Square Garden card, but oh well. Ramiz is also not that good, to be perfectly honest with you. He's been win one, lose one in the UFC, so he's won one fight, lost his next fight. I just don't think he's very good as well. But he does have double-digit wins with submissions. I think he has about 10 submissions or something crazy like that. I think, which means all his wins, right? Yeah, all his wins are submissions. Yeah, I'm gonna give it to Ramiz to get it done via submission. Gall is a little bit harder to submit, but also he's easy to finish and beat. So that's for me is the best way of winning. And then this is a newer fight on here. I wasn't gonna talk about this, but I know enough about both guys to talk about it. But I believe this was just added like before I even made the graphics and everything like that. Because this, like, I think I just saw that like earlier today. But yeah, Martin Tybura versus Diniz. Diniz has great power and he's very accurate. He's still an unknown variable in the UFC, to be perfectly honest with you. But the main thing is that I don't like about him is I don't like how he handled against Austin Lane and who was it? Was it Williams? Was it Carl Williams? Can't remember. I think it was Carl Williams, right? Yeah, it's Carl Williams. Yeah, he got taken down and controlled by him. He won, but he got taken down by them. Martin Tybura is more of a step up. Tybura has very good grappling. He doesn't really have power, but striking is good, which doesn't make sense in the heavyweight division, but all right. Mr. Pillow Fist, but also knows how to throw them pillows very well. That makes perfect sense to me. Martin Tybura can take him down, kind of like Tai Tuivasa did. He did it to Sergey Spivak even as well, too. I think he can take down Diniz and control him for 15 minutes. Give me Tybura decision. Let's see if the odds are out. Not seeing them, probably not. Oh, nope, they are. Absolute pick'em, minus 110 for each guy. Yep, that makes sense. I lean towards Tybura. This fight's off. Or Almeida's replacement. Wherever the case is, I'm not breaking it down. I'm pretty sure that fight's off. Yeah, that fight's off. Jim Miller versus Damon Jackson. I'm gonna get killed for this one. I think. I still have faith in Miller. I know he's coming off that big beatdown. I know I was sitting there egg in my face as Bobby Green just whooped his ass. And I was super confident on Miller. I had an insane parlay going, by the way, that the only thing that missed is Miller, by the way. I think it was Yidi by KO, and I think it was Andrade by decision, and then Miller just money line. I think it was like plus like 1,500 or something like that. Yeah, it of course missed. But I still have faith in Miller, and I also have a lack of faith in Damon Jackson. Damon Jackson decided he can strike. He decided that. That doesn't mean it's correct. He can't strike. He strikes with guys like Elliott and Danny Ige, and what happens? He gets starched. I feel like he'll try to strike with Jim Miller, and Jim Miller is lightweight. Damon Jackson, he still feels like a featherweight to me, to be perfectly honest with you. And I think he'll get lit up by Miller if Miller has properly recovered. He did take a long break. It's been 7 months since 300. Jesus Christ. It's been 7 months since 300, but it's worrying. And also, Damon Jackson, as I stated, he is a grappler. He wants to grapple. He has 15 submissions. Jim Miller has even more submissions than he does, so he's extremely comp on the ground. I don't think he'll get submitted. I'm going to lean towards Jim fucking Miller to get it done. I really hope he gets it done, and I think he's going to knock out Damon Jackson. I think their submission abilities will kind of like... I feel their submission abilities will kind of cancel each other out. I don't know. I could see Miller getting a sub. I can see Damon Jackson getting a sub. Also can see it not happening. I'm just going to say it's going to cancel out. I think it's going to be on the feet, and I like Miller get done by KO. Did this get moved off the main card? It did. Interesting. Good. It didn't belong on the main card from the very beginning. Chris Weidman, Eric Anders. 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 This fight sucks. Fight sucks. I don't know why Weidman is still fighting, to be honest with you. Weidman's looked awful in all his fights. Even the last fight he won, he looked absolutely awful, and only won because he gouged out his eyes. And Bruno Silva as well too sucks ever since the Alex Pereira fight. But yeah, he was my massacre of the night pick when he fought against Brad Tavares, and Brad Tavares also looked ass and barely squeaked by a unanimous decision. And then before that was him breaking his leg on Hall. Jesus Christ, I still can't get over that. By the way, 261, that was the card. That was one of the best cards of all time. That's one of the shortest pay-per-views of all time. I think like every fight, yeah, I don't think a single fight in the main card went past the second round. Maybe the Shevchenko fight. I think it was Lauren Murphy, I think she was fighting. Oh well. That was an insane card. But yeah, Weidman's ass. Eric Anders, also not very good. Simple to say. Yeah, he just won his last fight against Jamie Pickett. Lost to Marc-Andre Barrios, who just got absolutely his clock cleaned. And then he has a win over Dawkins, which I'm not counting. I don't like Eric Anders. He's got good grappling, but Weidman's got better grappling. But Weidman also has one leg. Weidman as well too. I gouged the living life out of him and somehow get a W from that. I don't know. I'm gonna take Eric Anders, get it done by decision, but screw this fight. I don't even know if I want to look at the odds because this fight sucks. Where are the odds? Where are they at? Eric Anders is minus 142. Chris Weidman plus 120. That's fair. Why is this not a main card? Why'd I put Martinez over Araújo versus Silva? We care about Silva and Araújo. Debatable. I kind of think this should be on main card over the women's fight. I'm sorry. Because I like Marcus McGhee. Whatever the case is. Jonathan Martinez take on Marcus McGhee. Marcus McGhee came in like a bat out of hell, and that's how he does all his fights. He's really good. I don't know where he just decided to start popping up. He has cardio issues, but round one, he's a monster. But I like his grappling, I like his submission game, and I like the wrestling pressure he could put on some people with some nasty ground and pound, especially with the legal 12-6 elbows. I like Marcus McGhee. He has never been the distance, which is insanely good. Jonathan Martinez, on the other hand, is a very good kickboxer, really good Muay Thai, really good kicks. That's where it ends for him. I don't think he's very competent on the ground. We've never really seen him in those situations because he's mainly been fighting strikers like Nurmagomedov, Aldo, Yanez. But I don't know. I think he could kick out the legs of McGhee, but I think that's his only avenue of victory. Meanwhile, Marcus McGhee, I could see him just taking him down, putting him on his butt, and just beating the crap out of him. I don't think he'll submit Jonathan Martinez because I think his submission defense is good, but I could absolutely see a world where he beats the life out of him. I wrote down decision for McGhee, but will he get a decision? It's Marcus McGhee. I'm gonna keep it as Marcus McGhee getting his first decision of his career, just because Martinez is a little bit more durable. But I definitely think Marcus McGhee all day. Odds wise are probably gonna disagree with me. No, okay, never mind. I don't know. I thought a lot of people would be on Martinez. Thankfully, they aren't. But there's some people on Martinez. It's pretty close. Marcus McGhee at -135. Jonathan Martinez at +114. All right. And now on to the main card. Marcuio Ruffy versus James Llontop. Don't get lulled into the trap that I did many times before in my life, which is a guy comes out of a really good gym, but he's still newer. Marcuio Ruffy has had one fight in UFC. He comes out of a really good gym that's really hot right now, which is Fighting Nerds. Don't pick people based off like that their teammates, because I did the same thing way back when with freaking Blood Diamond. You remember him? But whatever the case is, I'm hyping up. It seems like I'm hyping up James Llontop. No, I'm not. James Llontop's not that good. He's wild. He's reckless. He can throw down, and Ruffy likes to strike. So that's why I'm just saying be wary of this. I picture Marcuio Ruffy's probably gonna be like a -400. Don't parlay piece him that. Don't bet that. That's not. No. But I think Marcuio Ruffy is really good. He could be the real deal. I need to see a little bit more out of him. I wasn't truly high on Protez until he took out the leech. That's when I was like, okay, Protez is the guy. But now I think the Fighting Nerds are, I think they're that team, and Marcuio Ruffy could really accentuate it, being at a good spot here, being on this main card of this awful Madison Square Garden card. But I think this should be a good one. I'm really excited for Ruffy. Honestly, he's the thing I'm most excited for. Is he? Yeah, that's the fight I'm most excited for, just because I really want to see what Ruffy and the Fighting Nerds have to offer. I think he'll knock out Llontop, to be perfectly honest with you. Like I said, Llontop is just too reckless. He's gonna walk into some counters of Marcuio Ruffy because his counter striking is on point and he's way slicker of a striker. Llontop is exclusively a striker as well. He can overwhelm Ruffy. I could see that. I just don't think it'll happen. And oh my god, Marcuio Ruffy is -750. What are you doing? He's the biggest favorite on the card. What are we doing? No, it might be good to put the money on Llontop. Oh my god, y'all, you guys are in for a reckoning. You're in for a reckoning, because Ruffy will lose one day, and they're gonna be like, Fighting Nerds. I'm betting -800, -700, -300 on this guy. He's gonna lose, and he's gonna blow up in your face. Jesus Christ. Won't be Saturday. Viviane Araújo versus Karine Silva. This is a showcase spot for Silva, unfortunately. Silva, she's actually a finisher. It's rare in the women's MMA, other than last weekend. But no, not necessarily. But yes, she's got very good ground game, very good striking, and she's got a really good win streak going for her. I like Karine Silva a lot in this matchup. I don't like Viviane Araújo in this matchup at all, to be honest with you. She's a gatekeeper. She's hard to put away, but that's about it. Her durability will hold up, I think, but she's going to struggle immensely in both the grappling and striking departments, and she's just going to be playing Survivor for most of the fight, honestly. I definitely think Karine Silva is going to take it. I know Karine Silva, I just boasted how she's a really good finisher, but I think Araújo will survive, just lose. So give me Karine Silva by decision. She's got to be a big favorite. Where the hell is this fight at? -285. I pictured her being bigger, Karine Silva that is, and then Viviane Araújo at +230. This fight sucks. Bo Nickal versus Paul Craig. Goofy ass Paul Craig, who somehow has wins over Magomed Ankalaev and Jamal Hill. Paul Craig at middleweight ain't that. I know. I'm a memer. I'm a memester. I love picking Paul Craig. If you watch the channel, I pick Paul Craig quite a bit out of memes because he's a freaking meme. He's got no striking. He's got negative striking. I still can't believe how Johnny Walker knocked him out that one point. That was just insanity to me. Insanity how awful and stupid you're. Like, he's got negative fight IQ unless it's a last-second grapple. He went up against better grapplers such as Kyle Brahimaj and Brendan Allen. Brahimaj actually knocking him out, one of the few finishes Brahimaj has, and then Brendan Allen submitting him. I think Bo Nickal can do that to either guy. I don't know why this fight was made. We keep giving, like, Bo Nickal is so frustrating to me. I am not a Bo Nickal fan because when he was coming into the UFC against, I believe, on Contender Series, he took down Donovan Beard in the second one, whoever's the second one. I was like, this guy's insane. He's gonna be so good. He's active because he had 2 fights in the Contender Series. He's gonna come in and he's gonna be that dude. He's gonna be that dude. And he never fights. He fights basically twice a year. And like having only 6 fights. Only 6 fights. And he's not fighting twice a year when he's a top contender, a champion. This is the time where you're like a Carlos Prates and you fight 4 times in the year. Or JDM last year and fight 3 times in the year. Bo Nickal has fought twice. And he's fighting only in the showcase cards. And like, remember I mentioned he's fighting on Fight Week, International Fight Week, UFC 300. And now he's fighting a Madison Square Garden. He's just going to save him for these. And they keep giving him just garbage fighters. Val Woodburn, Cody Brundage, Jamie Pickett. He fought 2 of the 3 golden trio of garbage MMA fighters I always meme on. He just needs to take on Josh Fremd. I also want to put Shannon Ross in there. Shannon Ross is garbage. And Dawkins, you know what? Bring back Kyle Dawkins. That's the younger Dawkins, bro, right? Bring back Kyle Dawkins and let Bo Nickal fight him at this point. Paul Craig is a little bit of a step up, but he's just not that much better. Bo Nickal can knock him out with his ton of power, but I feel he'll more likely take him down and submit him. So, yep, give me Bo Nickal submission. Screw that fight, sucks. And on to the co-main event of the evening. Not you. The co-main event of the evening, Charles Oliveira is rematching Michael Chandler. Michael Chandler finally coming back after 2 years? Has it been 2 years? Yeah, 2 years. 2 Madison Square Garden cards ago. Jesus Christ. So, lightweight matchup. Charles Oliveira is going to be 35 years of age, 34 wins, 10 losses, 10 KOs, 21 subs, 5'10 in terms of height, orthodox stance, 74-inch reach advantage, a 2.17 takedown average. They both have the same takedown average. Insane. 61.97% significant strike accuracy, minus 250 favorite, significance over Beneil Dariush, Justin Gaethje, Dustin Poirier, and Michael Chandler. Yeah, it's a really good list of wins. God damn, Charles. You can also extend that to, I believe it's, took on Kevin Lee, right? And then, Tony Ferguson. Took on Kevin Lee, right? Yeah. And then it goes to Malcolm Gordon. Jesus Christ, ugh. Or Jared Gordon, sorry. Not Malcolm Gordon, Jared Gordon. And Michael Chandler is going to be 38 years old. 23 wins, 8 losses, 11 knockouts, 7 submissions, 5'8 in terms of height, orthodox stance, 71.5-inch reach, disadvantage, a 2.17 takedown average, 51.79% significant strike accuracy, plus 205 underdog, significance over Tony Ferguson and Dan Hooker. I removed the Eddie Alvarez win off there because it's been too long. Michael Chandler is fun to watch. I love watching Michael Chandler. Charles Oliveira is fun to watch. I love watching Charles Oliveira. I don't think we need this fight. Also, if I'm in UFC's top 10 lightweight division, I'm pissed. Because why did Michael Chandler lose so many fights? He lost so many fights, and then he's just coming into another like title eliminator. Essentially what this is. If he beats Charles Oliveira, I fully believe he's probably going to get a title shot, honestly. Just because he sat out for McGregor for 2 years, like, I get it. And I don't fully blame him for doing that because he signed up to the Ultimate Fighter with him, so he should be fighting him, right? But he should have known that Conor's not fighting. Conor's not a serious fighter anymore. He's never fighting again, so we wasted Michael Chandler's career. He could have had a lot more exciting fights. I just don't think he would have won a lot. I don't think he would have won a lot of them, to be honest with you. He's gone through a lot of the tough top guys. The problem is just his fight IQ is just piss poor. Just piss poor, to be honest with you. But I think it will be on point this time. Charles Oliveira, as we know from the first fight, he got badly hurt in Rock, but he was able to come back because Charles is a fighter. That's the thing. Charles is a fighter. He will come back. He is not a quitter like many people said. Gaethje lost only just because he labeled him as a quitter, to be honest with you. Charles Oliveira's grappling is still really good, and his striking is always very good as well, too. Michael Chandler can still get clipped, and there's a high chance he does. But I think Chandler, this is going to be the first time, other than the, he did fight smart kind of in the Tony fight and a little bit in the Dustin fight. But I think he's going to fight smart in this fight, to be honest with you, because he's been out for years. He wants to get that back. He wants to get that W. He wants to get that title shot now. I definitely think he has a chance. And I'm actually going to tell you right now, I'm picking Michael Chandler. I'm picking Michael Chandler. The main thing is because people finally realized the way to beat Charles Oliveira that nobody realized, and I've been saying for a while, you can go back and say, is wrestling. Wrestling is how you beat Charles Oliveira. His grappling and jiu-jitsu is really good, but his actual traditional wrestling is not good. Just go in his guard and beat him up in his guard. Justin and Dustin were so terrified of being in his guard. Arman was in his guard, and Islam was in his guard, and that's why they won and had such good success against him. Also, he doesn't move his head. He moved his head in the Beneil Dariush fight. Not so much in the Saryukin fight. Ate an axe kick to the head. I don't know how that happened, but all right. He doesn't move his head. Chandler can just throw shots straight down the middle. No looping punches like he was doing up against Dustin, but straight shots down the middle, and he could clip Charles again, this time going to his guard and just land some ground and pound. He was going into the guard of Dustin Poirier and also Tony Ferguson. He was fighting smart, kind of. He started fighting like a dumbass in the Dustin fight towards the end of the first round. Actually, yeah, in the second round, he's smarting up. But if he goes up against Charles and fights smart, I think he could beat him. He could beat him. He just can't get caught. He can't get hit by Charles. He's just too deadly, too dangerous. And if he makes a mistake striking like a wild man, Charles will easily clip him. I'm taking Michael Chandler just for the shits and giggles, honestly. And I think it'd be funny. And also, I want some new blood in the title picture because Islam, he's probably going to beat Arman. I lean towards him heavily, beat Arman. He's probably going to move up after that. I do want him to come back down the lightweight, and I don't want him rematching Charles Oliveira. I don't want to see that. I'd rather see him fight Michael Chandler or somehow get Max Holloway in there. I think those would be some fun fights for Islam Makhachev. I think they do more for his name, to be honest with you. Charles is still a big name. Whatever the case is, I don't know. That's what I want to see. Chandler, TKO, I guess. Jon Jones versus Stipe Miocic. If you know me, you know I'm not a fan of Jon Jones. I don't like talking about him because the things he does is kind of disgusts me. I think he's awful as a human being. And as someone who's actually been watching Jon Jones for his entire career, not these newer guys who've watched the Gall fight and that's it, or say, oh, Jones is a monster, I've watched all his fights, and then they watched it back. They went back and watched these fights and didn't know the context and the people talking about all that. I am someone who's watched all of Jones's fights. We'll get into the second one to take the tail to tape. This is not the light heavyweight title fight. Why did I write light heavyweight? This is the heavyweight title fight. Oh, probably because you look on the UFC's website, by the way. If you look on their UFC's website, this is Jones' picture for when he was light heavyweight champion, and this is Stipe Miocic from 3 years ago. See this? They're in the Venom shorts. They're in the Venom shorts. Look, they're all in the Venom shorts. Look. All in the Venom shorts. All of them. All of them. And then you have these losers in the Reebok shorts. But all right, I digress. Heavyweight title fight, Jon Jones, 37 years old, 27 wins, 1 loss, 10 knockouts, 7 submissions, 6'4" in terms of height, orthodox stance, 84.5-inch reach. Jesus Christ, still has an insane reach advantage. A 1.93 takedown average, 62.58% single strike accuracy, minus 725 favorite. Significance over Cyril Gane, Thiago Santos, Anthony Smith, Daniel Cormier. Daniel Cormier times 1. Because I'm not counting when he popped for Peds. Stipe Miocic is going to be 42 years of age. Jesus. 20 wins, 4 losses, 14 knockouts, 1 submission, 6'4" in terms of height, orthodox stance, 80-inch reach disadvantage, a 1.86 takedown average, a 62.43% significant strike accuracy, plus 450 underdog. Significance over DC twice, Francis Ngannou, Junior Dos Santos, and Alistair Overeem. I had to pull out JDS and Alistair Overeem. I had to pull out Anthony Smith as a significance for Jones. And Thiago Santos. You know what's funny about their significant wins? Only one person of these guys that they beat is still on the damn UFC roster. And it's Cyril Gane. So I'm just going to rant about this fight. My analysis of this fight, first and foremost, is that Stipe Miocic can win this fight due to the inactivity of Jones and age, but he also is probably leaning towards losing it due to his inactivity and age. He has power. We don't know how heavyweight Jon Jones truly looks because Gane had no grappling. I definitely don't think Stipe will get outclassed on the ground unless he's really that, just his skills have withered that much, and they honestly can. Honestly, probably have. Also, just don't pick against Jones. Simple as that. I did it due to the inactivity when he fought Gane. That's the only time I picked against Jones. I did pick DC and beat him in the rematch because I really wanted it, but I didn't think it would happen. But other than that, I've never picked against Jones. Don't do it. He always wins. He's going to win this matchup. See the odds? This fight shouldn't be here. Look at the odds, man. This is a title fight. When's the last time we had a title fight with odds like this? Was it Izzy versus Strickland? Hey, we saw how that fight went out. I want Stipe to win. I'd love him to win. His boxing's really good, and Jones's boxing is pretty ass, to be honest with you. But Jones isn't going to stand with him. He's going to eye poke him to oblivion. Stipe knows, though, that feeling all too well after his fight to DC. And he's going to get oblique kicked into oblivion. So I think Jones wins this. I just don't think he's going to finish, actually. I think it's going to be a boring decision because Jones is a boring fighter. Sorry to say. And then now we'll get into why I say Jones is a boring fighter. People just don't understand. People think, oh, he's so crazy, he's exciting. He submitted Gane, and Gane was ranked 50 in the world in FIFA at the time, not actually training. Only saying recently he started taking training seriously. But otherwise, every other win I have in those significant column right there is a decision. Because simply put, Jones is a decision king. Like I said, I've watched all of Jones' fights. All of them. This was his era when he was exciting. And he was fighting frequently. He was getting finishes. He was fighting like what, 5 times in 2011, multiple times in 12. Like, he was like an exciting fighter. He absolutely was. But do you know when it all kind of stopped? Do you know when it stopped? It stopped after the Gustafsson fight, because that was the first guy that made him feel human. That was the first guy who, like, I know a lot of people select this day to say that Gustafsson won. Jones did win, but that's the first guy that made him go, whoa, maybe I'm not hot shit. Also, by the way, that's the first guy that was a natural light heavyweight, because Sonnen, TRT Belfort, not Rashad, but Machida, Jackson, and Rua were all freaking goddamn middleweights moving up to light heavyweight. All as well too were past their prime. Their prime was in Pride. Shogun's prime was in Pride. Jackson's prime was in Pride. Machida, the Machida era joke. Good call, Rogan. And Sonnen hadn't fought in light heavyweight in what, 7 years going into that fight, and he was coming off a loss against Silva. What are we doing? But yes, he fought against Gustafsson, and he was made to look human. What happened after that? He did have a very good showing against Teixeira. Couldn't finish him, but Teixeira's hard to finish. He did have a really good showing against Jones, or against Cormier. Was that when he popped, or was that the pregnant lady? Whatever the case is. Then he took OSP to a decision. I know it's prime OSP, but that's... Then he comes back against DC, and he destroys him. You're like, oh shit, he knocked him out. 5 days later, pops for Peds. What? Okay, I'm not counting that, but funny enough, wow, yeah. First time he's looked good since the Gustafsson fight, and it was pop for Peds. Okay, he destroys Gustafsson. But people don't remember this. People don't remember this. Y'all weren't there at this time watching. But this card took place in California. It was supposed to be in Vegas. Do you know why? Because Jones popped for roids, but not enough, and it was a residual trace from his last time he popped. Residual trace from the last time he popped. Residual trace. Residual trace from the last time he popped. He popped for roids, but not enough. So they moved it to a commission that allowed enough of that roid, that steroid. And they just guilt tripped Gustafsson to take the fight. Watch the embedded if it's still up. I don't think they keep those up. But it's so bad, man. Like, they just have him in there. Like, you want to take the fight? You want to take the fight? Gustafsson's like, I guess. Knowing damn well if he didn't take the fight, he was going to be barred and never get another title fight again. And then what happened? He absolutely destroyed him. Wasn't even a contest. But you know what? That was a big scare for Jones. Big scare for Jones. Because, you know, someone slipped some TRT or whatever, turnable into his freaking Applebee's meal. I think Colby Covington made a joke about that around the time. Whatever the case is. So then let's look at his next couple fights. You took Smith to a decision. You took No Need Santos to a split decision. This is a split, but I definitely think Jones won. But he took out his knees round one, and that's it. How this was a unanimous, they'll never know, because he lost this fight. I don't care what anybody says. Go back and watch this. He lost this fight. He lost. I don't care what anyone says. Give Reyes the freaking knockdown too. He should be credited for the knockdown. But yeah. Okay, he looked great against Gall. But like, and then like all these people were like it's well too. Like I said, his inactivity. Like he fought 4 times in 2011, fought twice in 2012. Fought twice in 2013, and he fought once in 2014, once in 2015, once in 2016, once in 2017, once in 2018, once in 2020, once in 2023, and he's gonna fight once in 2024. That's not what I want to see. That's not what I want to see at all. And I just gotta say, guys, it's very, very easy to be the best in the world when you don't challenge yourself that frequently. It's very easy to be the best in the world when you fight once a year. You can do that very easily, by the way. It's hard. It's hard to lose when you only fight once in a calendar year. Just saying. Just saying. I mean, you can look at other, like, you know, GOATs as well, too. Like, other guys who, like, people, like, challenge against Jones and stuff like that. And look and see how often they would fight. Keep in mind, this is GSP as a champion from... here. Wait. God damn. Where's the... Sarah? There we go. So... Wait, where is it? Where did he beat Sarah to get the belt again? Am I stupid? Whatever the case is, just look at still, like, wait, I feel like that's wrong. Yeah, what the heck? They flipped it. Look at this. What? What are we doing? We flipped it. Okay. But yeah, 27. Look at that. He fought 3 times 2007. He fought 2 times 2008, 2 times 2009, 2 times 2010, once 2011. Okay. Twice in 2012, two times in 2013, once 2017. Like he's fighting. He's actually fighting GSP. Whatever the case is, Jones inactive. He's great. Yeah. Oh well. I think this is a awful fight. It really should be Tom Aspinall. By the way, it should have never been Stipe, even after the Gall fight. The Stipe fight, the only time it made sense was right after he lost the belt to Ngannou. And even then, it wouldn't have made sense for a title fight. I'm sorry, the Stipe fight never made sense. It always should have been Sergey Pavlovich. If, like, Tom Aspinall never became interim champ, I would have said, oh, he ducked Sergey Pavlovich and ran from Sergey. But yeah, whatever the case is, oh well, this has been your boy Gomi. I hope you enjoy the rant that was like 10 minutes at the end. This card sucks, but I'll still be watching it because I have nothing else to do with my life. Bye-bye.